We're the Champ Hunters Div 1 Tuesdays. We should not be in Div 1, but nevertheless, we lost 8-3 today, but we're missing Alex Beckers. Send him hate. If you know who he is, please send him hate, and that's it.
Well, that's exactly right, James. Going on with that, our gaffer, we've had a gaffer, for the whole team, and then he hasn't rocked up. Last 2 weeks, Lucas Smarra, you know who you are. You better sleep with one eye open tonight because we're coming for you, mate. You better sleep with one eye open, Lucas Smarra. You know who you are.
Use the green. I'll just do a quick sound check. That's all. Good afternoon, wherever you're listening in Victoria, across the nation, or indeed around the world. Welcome back to Darebin on what has been a truly proper, wet, windy, wild and wicked Melbourne Sunday. The championship has thrown up similar as such, but tonight it is the front runners of the division, those looking to go straight back up from their relegation in Season 1 of 2025. Carlton Heart, having vanquished Footscray, are now out on their own at the top of the tree. 5 unbeaten with a chance to go 4 points clear of the rest. They, this evening, face an Arran side without a win in 3, which has seen them thrown all the way in to a relegation battle, one which they look like they might have steered themselves out of only a month ago. My name's Ethan Rigg, and welcome to the last edition of what has been an entertaining and an enthralling Sunday. Started with a Northcote win over RMIT, and Kensington Eagles providing perhaps one of the shocks of the season so far, defeating Vic Lions to really bunch up the relegation battle and send Erins at the moment to the foot of the table, position they want to climb off of, and they have an early opportunity. Flash towards Mohamed Shafei's goal. Was well wide of the side netting. But a bright start from the team who, on the live table, occupy the foot of the league. Top versus bottom. And Hart, the message has been clear this season. It's all been about getting back to series, getting the pieces together. Reece Tarisi and Shaban Rajab have made that no secret. They wanted to keep a lot of that core intact, were able to do so. And now we're starting to see some of the fruits of that labour in the championship. We sit top of the tree, a good mix of youth and experience. A very exciting Hart side, who are looking to get themselves promoted right back to the very top. Power with a giveaway. Masavi had two around him. Door was shot by O'Connor. High press from Melbourne Erins. Putting Hart under some pressure, and it's stolen away by Badani, whose shot was saved by Shafei. An early let-off for Hart, who are almost the architects of their own downfall. It's O'Connor. Carlton not really wanting to string together a good move. Berry, Power wanted to turn. Two hit the deck. Erins go the other way. Ali Mohammed on the march. And it's pushed aside by Shafei for a corner. Mohammed, former South Melbourne man. Trading those colours for Melbourne Erins. Corner taken. Connor quickly across, had to make the intervention. It fell for Jalali. And the side propping up the division have made a particularly positive start. Putting Hart on the back foot. Mohammed again fizzing it across. Shafei stuck a leg out. And Berry had it ricochet to him fortuitously. He then lost out to Masavi. And O'Connor will take over to reset things. Moved it on for Aiden Power. Went down the line for Robotis, who shot on the spin. And went the flick over the top. Power on the follow-in, had more time than he realised. Set it for O'Connor, who smashed hard ahead. Brilliant from Phil Robotis. The cheek on the chip at the second attempt. Power played it smartly, and O'Connor crashed in as the late runner to steer Carlton Hart ahead. Against the run of play, really. Erins had made a bright start. But Hart just needed one opportunity. The side who have been very efficient going forward this season. Saw that against Footscray last week. Didn't create a plethora of opportunities, particularly in the second half, but took the ones that they did. And it was enough to get the job done. An all-important win. And at the moment, they're going 4 clear at the top of the table. There was only a 1-point gap between them and Northcote, who inherited second with a win in the early kick-off. Hart now out on their own as it stands. Jalali got it back from Mosavi. Lost it to Berry. Robotis took over. On for O'Connor. Happy to calm things down. We'll try and shift this Erins side around. Power onto Berry. It was just ahead of O'Connor, who wasn't quite on the same wavelength. A tidy turn from Jalali, who had a yard and stung the palms of Shafei, who had to spill and then gather at the second attempt. And he looks long for Robotis, who's roaming as that target. And already has proved a handful for Badani. Wasn't quite able to hold him for the first goal. And wants to be a thorn in his side. Jalali speared it on for Mohammed, who had another look. Just wasn't able to trouble Shafei. First few changes being run. LaRocca for Obotis. Power now goes into that target. Perhaps just the change in the system, going from a much more physical presence to Power, who plays with a more deft touch. Perhaps wanting to utilise, in particular, LaRocca, who was one of the shining lights of last season. Try to slide it in for Power. Mohammed had it break his way. Power having lost the first. Recovered at the second attempt. By Dani. When searching for Masavi, Power picked it up. Had two around him. Mohammed gave Masavi one to chase, and Shafei did enough to see it out of play. Had a much more improved season in goal in the championship, Mohammed Shafei. Juggled starting duties with Matjaram last season. Was the understudy for a good portion of the campaign. Certainly saw plenty of action in that side who got relegated. But it's brighter pastures for them in this division. Venegas, onto Baidani. Mohammed was on the switch, a heavy touch, invited Berry to make the good challenge. Power picked it off. Hart, again, just looking for an opening. Could LaRocca perhaps provide it? Mohammed went on the press. Berry. Ball just ahead of LaRocca. Division's best defence, however. They haven't scored as many as those towards the further end. RMIT and Footscray have found the net more frequently than Hart, but nobody has been more solid at the back. And that at the moment is the difference maker between them being top of the table, being 4 points clear potentially, and scrapping it out for a playoff place. It's all well and good scoring goals, but the efficiency with which you can keep them out is what makes a team a title contender. Reece Teresi realised that quite quickly on, and it's been built on a solid spine this season. Saw that quite early on. A couple of ground out 2-0 wins, a 2-1 win last week. Signs of a side who aren't just doing enough, but instead are really managing games well and riding out the ebbs and flows. One of the big tweaks from last season. They got overwhelmed very quickly, whereas this time round, they've been able to just temper themselves a bit better, temper their own pace. It's a lovely move from Baidani through the legs of LaRocca. And it'll be Shafei's ball. Baidani protesting. Really claimed that Buitrago had the last touch. LaRocca at the other end. Had it off the keeper. Shouts for a handball. Alex LaRocca kept moving. And wins a free kick. And the Aaron's appeal falling deaf on the ears of Michael Ciaris. Hard with a chance for an early 2-0 lead. Power's free kick. LaRocca just operating near post. Buitrago, one of the options. Power went alone, and Venegas in the wall did his job. Power wanted to go quickly. Passo gave it back to him. Now here's Matias Passo. Trying to tangle his way through. And again, Aaron's just do enough, but LaRocca has picked pockets, rolled it for Passo, who was central. Venegas had to get the all-important intervention to spare Mosavi's blushes, who's lost out again. Matias Passo wants to go on his own, set it back for Power, who's drilled it wide. But it was fabulous futsal from Hart, the high press, really too hot to handle. Mosavi lost out twice. Had his blushes spared the first time, and the shot rattled wide on the second occasion. Nearly two nightmare moments, right when you can't afford to concede one. As Ascari's effort is one which he didn't quite catch cleanly. Dragged it. And Evans haven't created many opportunities. Chaffee's made one rather decent save, which he had to parry. But since then, Hearts have maintained this game in a good manner. Searching ball from Buitrago. Couldn't quite find LaRocca. It was a fraction too heavy. Zali Mohammed. Venegas. Searching down the line, and the two run into each other. Passo and Buitrago. Now that was a back pass to Chaffee. And one which was not disguised very well at all. And it will give Melbourne Erins a golden opportunity. Riza went on the high press. Chaffee with a nightmare moment. Him and Passo didn't quite communicate with one another. And Erins, who've been on the back foot for majority of the half, now have a chance to land themselves a leveller. Mohammed and Venegas over it. Riza one of the options, Ascari the other. Everyone on the hard line. Venegas, Mohammed, it's a brilliant save from Chaffee. Fabulous goalkeeping, just held off when the rest advanced and shot down the angle available to Venegas. Brilliant stop, and an important one. Made up for the error. Erins corner, Riza Mohammed flashed it across. And they'll have another corner. They got a touch on the way through, and perhaps an important one. Mohammed once again. Back for Venegas. On for Ascari, who's hit the side netting. Chaffee in a little bit of a hurry. Buitrago, LaRocca. Quick 1-2. Passo peeled, Buitrago went alone. LaRocca on the following. Couldn't quite connect cleanly. Mohammed was the only one out. And his touch was heavy, it was found well by Shamkhani. It just breaks down. There is firepower and there is threat there. But it's been weathered well so far. Buitrago. Onto Camillo Echevarria. Buitrago once more. LaRocca. Echevarria. It's a good challenge from Mohammed. Just holding in. Soaking up some of the pressure. Wanting to catch Carlton Heart out. Because they do commit those numbers forward. A challenge from Ascari, however. Too overzealous. And he fouled Buitrago. A few changes being made. Both benches, the full ensemble. Available to either manager. Berry. Pressed by Venegas. LaRocca dropped off to lend a hand. Berry twisting, turning, and Chaffee can come and gather it. And now release LaRocca, who had one more up with him as well. Buitrago was waiting. Wasn't able to be found. Venegas. Mohammed. Ascari. Erins' turn to play patience. Mohammed once again. Got it back from Venegas. Ali Mohammed. Tidy touch for Riza. And it will trickle all the way back once again for Mohammed Chaffee. Buitrago. On for Berry. LaRocca was down the line. Echevarria, and Berry went alone. Flashed his effort just wide. Hart perhaps with another warning shot, having been attempting to control the game since going a goal up. Riza wants to spin Buitrago, but ran out of room while doing so. Echevarria. Waited on an option. Berry was one. Buitrago was the other. On for Power. Reza and Venegas both came to him. Reza a bit overzealous and gives away a free kick. Hart with an opportunity. As Ali Mohammed just gets a word from Michael Ciaris, and for that applause will find himself in the book. A touch of sarcasm, and the first yellow card of the afternoon is brandished in this game. Ali Mohammed on a yellow. Hart with a free kick. Buitrago over it. Power delivering the message. Echevarria in the area. Buitrago. Power set it back for him. Tidy footwork to twist and turn away from two. Berry back for Power. And Ali Mohammed's press is a good one, and Errands want timeout. One which they were not able to get this time. The slip hadn't been handed in. Venegas, Echevarria picked his pocket, waited on the runners, slipped it through his legs. Ascari's recovery challenge, a good one. And Echevarria this time with a challenge that was too strong. And Errands will have that timeout now. Inside the final 5 to the break. It's Carlton Hart 1, Melbourne Errands 0. We return from timeout. Final 5 minutes to half time. Aaron's looking for an answer. Hart. A single goal to nil ahead, courtesy of O'Connor. Firm hit at the end of a brilliant move. One in which Phil Robotis played his pivotal part, and he's getting some instruction from Reece Teresi down on the touchline. Ever animated is the Carlton Hart gaffer. Evans with a string of side balls, gaining yards little by little. Venegas' find was a good one, but the effort from Chokri wasn't one which troubled Mohamed Shafei. You can hear the press being orchestrated. Matias Passer. Pressed by Venegas, had his options shot, couldn't play Shafei once again, and wasn't able to find Berry. Hayden Power might be one of a pair, and Shaban Chokri just having a word from Michael Ciaris. Reece Teresi wants timeout. So a quick fire pair of them, one after the other. Might be a message change as long as Hart can ride it out. Something he's seen from the resumption. As again, Chokri smashed it wide, and he will have that timeout moments after the first. Without a change in the score, It's still Hart who lead by a goal to nil.
I brought the boys over. We're all former NPL players. If State League want to sign us, yeah, no, we thought we'd take our talents to futsalers, and
Well, that's exactly right.
it's absolutely fantastic. And the place is an institution, so we thought we might as well. And that's that.
That's exactly right, James. That's it. It's not hard, it's just that we're struggling to find our feet. I think the lack of fitness is really affecting our team. Joining halfway through the season wasn't most ideal, but you know what? We've come across a couple wins and we're doing decent within the team. You know, there's a lot of politics within the team and problems here and there. And you know, when you got families paying 7, 8, 9 grand, it's not on. But yeah, well, that's exactly right.
Well, you know, for Social League Div 1, we thought this would be all right, but it's a much higher standard than we thought, and we're not quite equipped for it, but we're working on that.
Yeah, we definitely are.
Yeah, we're working on it. We're improving the arsenal, and we'll get there. We'll get there day by day. We'll adjust.
Unfinished business.
It's 2 words. Disappointment. But there's room for improvement, and that's it, man. That's it.
Well, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
We're signing off.
Signing off, James Daniel, starting captain, strikers.
Yeah, and send hate to Alex Beckers and Lucas Maraha.
Turn from timeout on the stroke of half-time. Aidan Power on the charge. Hart, words of wisdom nearly working as he flashed his effort wide. Was a sweet hit from Aidan Power. Just faded at the last moment. But Hart, who were under pressure when Aaron's called their timeout, now just starting to get the first half back under a similar grip which they've had really since the offset of this game. A couple of looks here and there. It's been a first half of attrition rather than a free-flowing futsal for majority of it. Power takes his leave. Robotis, you'd imagine, would go to the end of the break. It's Passo. Echevarria. Clearance cut out. Tidy take by Ali Mohammed. Venegas on for Ascari, whose touch was loose, and Berry had 2 with him. A brilliant, brilliant challenge made by Shokri, and it had to be clean. Matthias Passo. Echevarria. It was good goalkeeping from Shankani, who came the long way, and then looked long for Mohammed. Berry, always best placed. Passo picked it up. Robotis went one way. Echevarria. Just slid away from Mohammed and slided it smashingly. Robotis for Passo, who wanted to poke it goalwards and won a corner. Subhan Shokri in the way to make the all-important block. Passo's take. Echevarria. Back for Berry. Hart again, still just taking the sting out of the situation. Echevarria got inventive, and it was well read by Venegas, who telegraphed it well. Robotis' challenge was good, not the first time, but the second as well. Venegas continued to bustle his way forward. Ascari gave it back to him. Berry this time across, stayed alive. Ascari, Venegas, and this time they'll have a corner. Perhaps a late change to the script. Is there a sting in the tail before half-time? Venegas, Ascari went low, and Shafei couldn't take any chances. Push it aside for another set piece. This time Mohammed the recipient, and Robotis across the block. A real string of Aaron's set plays. Closing in on the break. Mohammed. Again Robotis there to make the intervention. After just gaining ground, little by little, forcing Melbourne Arons further back. Mohammed. Can they reload another look before half-time? Masavi made a run for him. He went for Venegas instead. He wanted to charge at Berry. Masavi. Berry in the right place to read it. Steered away to Mohammed, who smashed it. And Shafei made a brilliant save down low. Was hit sweetly from Ali Mohammed. And Mohammed Shafei was alert to it, as he was again from the corner, via a spillage, this time gathered. Berry on for Passo, who was without an option. Final minute of the first half. Musavi side ball. Flicked across, Mohammed, whose touch was tidy, had an early hit, and again Shafei took the sting out of it quite well. Passo, who has been the press trigger for Melbourne Arons in this first half. Got it back from Echevarria. Venegas telegraphed his ball for Obotis, who picks it up via a loose touch. Echevarria had a hit. He wanted a corner, which he got. In fact, no, he didn't. Michael Ciaris just readjusting the post. Will be, in fact, the keeper's ball. Half a minute to the break. Passo with a solid headed clearance. Everyone's wanting to reload once more before the half-time. Venegas. Can they create one more opportunity? Tribak wanted to find a way through, but couldn't. The side ball is to be taken deeper than Hart would want it. 20 seconds to half time. They're just wanting to see it out at this stage. Aaron step high. Berry. Echevarria. Not beyond Venegas. Trebek side ball. Wasn't all on the line. That's another let-off for Carlton Hart, right on the stroke of half-time. Be frustrating for Melbourne Arons, who just were looking to build some pressure. Just releases it as the ball rattles against the railing, much to the dismay of everyone on the Hart bench, who find the misfortune frustrating. Trebek again went searching for Mohammed, wasn't able to find him. KG half, one where chances were at a premium. And does Echevarria have the final say? It took a deflection and the whistle will beat the corner, but it will matter not. Hearts find themselves ahead of the break and in a position of promise. A first half of attrition, one where chances did not come relatively thick and fast, but it was O'Connor who took his and is currently the difference maker. Half time, it's Carlton Hart 1, Melbourne Arons 0.
We're the Champ Hunters Div 1 Tuesdays. We should not be in Div 1, but nevertheless, we lost 8-3 today, but we're missing Alex Beckers. Send him hate. If you know who he is, please send him hate, and that's it.
Well, that's exactly right, James. Going on with that. Our gaffer, we've had a gaffer, for the whole team, and then he hasn't rocked up. Last 2 weeks, Lucas Smarra, you know who you are. You better sleep with one eye open tonight because we're coming for you, mate. You better sleep with one eye open, Lucas Smarra. You know who you are.
I brought the boys over, and we're all former NPL players. If State League want to sign us, we thought we'd take our talents to futsalers, and
well, that's exactly right.
it's absolutely fantastic. And the place is an institution, so we thought we might as well. And that's that.
That's exactly right, James. That's it. It's not hard, it's just that we're struggling to find our feet. I think the lack of fitness is really affecting our team. Joining halfway through the season wasn't most ideal, but you know what? We've come across a couple wins and we're doing decent within the team. There's a lot of politics within the team and problems here and there. When you got families paying 7, 8, 9 grand, it's not on. But yeah, well, that's exactly right.
Well, for Social League Div 1, we thought this would be all right, but it's a much higher standard than we thought, and we're not quite equipped for it, but we're working on that.
Yeah, we definitely are.
Yeah, we're working on it. We're improving the arsenal, and we'll get there. We'll get there day by day. We'll adjust.
Unfinished business.
It's 2 words. Disappointment. But there's room for improvement, and that's it, man. That's it.
Well, that's exactly right.
We're signing off.
Signing off. James Daniel, starting captain, strikers.
Yeah, and send hate to Alex Beckers and Lucas Smarra.
At the moment, holding the slenderest of advantages, although it is one which, in the context of the promotion battle and in the relegation battle as well, holds importance. It gives them a 4-point lead at the top, and it just continues to push a bit of distance between themselves, between Northcote and Footscray 2. All of the teams really in the hunt. As the division looks like it might be just starting to split itself into 2, with the top 3 peeling. And from RMIT all the way to Aaron's, only 6 points of difference. In fact, RMIT might consider themselves in the top 4 hunt. Only 4 points off the top at the moment. It would become 7 if it were to stay this way. But they're certainly in with a playoff shout. 3 points separate them and second place Northcote. All very bunched together at both ends of the league. 4 teams separated by 4 points, and then the bottom 3 separated by a win. Massively important for these sides. Survival as Masavi via a deflection, and Shafei had to make a very good save down low. O'Connor had his pocket picked. Masavi again was waiting on Reza as one of the options. Baidani was one of the others. He took over. O'Connor held him up. Went to twist and turn his way down the line. Baidani did well. Reza had it break for him. And smashed a really good look wide. Almost an early punch in the second half to level things up. Had the right pace on it, but the trajectory had it turning away from the net always. And it raced wide as a result. What a golden look from Alban Aarons that could be. Who didn't have many opportunities in the first half. Despite a good final 5, it was a real flurry. They weren't able to work themselves. A leveller. Hart went in, a goal up. They still are. Perhaps the first warning shot of the second half fired. LaRocca had his pocket picked. Tidy touch from Reza in return. And there is the leveller. Jalali continued his run beautifully. Reza with a delightful touch, and Aarons have their goal. And again, the dynamic changes and the complexion of the championship shifts. Beautifully worked. And going off the end of the first half and the start of the second, it had been coming. It took a golden move to get them level. Reza's touch was terrific. But Jalali, with the initial run and the finish, will take all of the plaudits. And rightfully so, it was a terrific goal. Hart looking for a response. LaRocca, and it's brilliantly done by Shamkhani, who for a second looked like he might have been beaten, but stretched out a paw and clawed it back in. LaRocca once again. Had Pulido one way. LaRocca went alone and crashed the bar. Fierce hit. One which the upright still hasn't recovered from. Buitrago played it heavily, and just as Jalali thought he might be in for another look at goal, the ball trickled over the line. But what pace this game has resumed at. It took a while to get into its rhythm in the first period, but both of these sides have flown out of the blocks. LaRocca leading the charge for Hart, and he wins a corner. In fact, no, he won't. It'll be the keeper's ball. Much to some dismay. Venegas might make it count. Sat LaRocca and Shafay down. Shifted again. And O'Connor made a crucial block at the expense of a corner. But what a look that was. Almost to turn this game on its head. Jalali from the corner. Onto his left. Shafay spilled it. O'Connor couldn't clear beyond Venegas. It's a better touch from Buitrago, who invited LaRocca to lose out. Badani has options with him. Osabi was the man, and he spun it over. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Syed Ali Masavi looked for all money like he would score, but steered his effort over the bar. And Hart might make him pay. O'Connor took a deflection. Badani had to make the block. Two were waiting. Hart have a corner. Pulido's take. LaRocca stole a yard and clipped it. Shamkhani did well. Released Mosavi, who went the long way round. Shafay on the split. Aaron's won a handball. Buitrago with a smashing ball. LaRocca at the other end. Venegas got a touch to close the angle. And Shamkhani, who slid twice now when he's gone to distribute, didn't have the same success. Jalali lost out to Pulido, who had options left and right. Baidani went to hold him off. Venegas took over. But Hart will have a free kick. It's outrageously good. The start to this second half. Blink and you'll miss it. Both of these sides really throwing everything at each other. Dead level. A win would be seismic for either. Buitrago. Berry gave it back to him when searching for power, who was pulled down by Badani, who had too much of his shirt, and for it will find himself in the book. Much to some errant protest. Yellow card issued. Hart just starting to create a couple of looks. Reece and Teresi ponders and takes time out. The card brandished. The free kick will have to wait until the other side of the break. Melbourne Errands, though, have made the bright start to the second half. They got themselves level as we go to timeout for the first time in the second period. It's Carlton Heart 1, Melbourne Erins 1.